Doobie doobie doo. Testing 1, 2, 3, 5 seconds. Okay. Finkel here. Finkel, whatever you want to call me. Shitbird. All right. I'm going to warn the chat that this is pre-recorded. In fact, I'll be working on it at various times during my shift. Not sure what time it'll be done and completed. I have Movavi and I have StreamYard, and I'm not sure which is better for this kind of presentation. Editing is much better in Movavi, but you know, I'm vain, so I like my image to be up there while I commentate on that which I am sharing. So this is pre-recorded. I'm going to put it up in a live stream format so that people can chat if they want to. Pause. Okay, yeah. Today I'm going to report from the fence line because some of us sit on the fence. Some of us, we try to have an unbiased opinion. True, bias is always there. And I definitely have some biases. I'm biased against Trump. I'm biased against ICE. I have a lot of biases, so it's hard for me to share something without being biased. But that being said, I also try to be honest and fair. And here we have a guy wearing a MAGA hat about to get exported from a soccer match. Let us play it.
This hilarious new video of a MAGA fan getting kicked out of an MLS soccer game last night in St. Louis because of his MAGA hat. He has this whole meltdown. He's arguing with the guards. He's like filming himself, pretending to be a victim, saying he's getting arrested. He's practically crying on.
Clearly, the commentator here has a biased opinion. And for the most part, I share that biased opinion. And I'm going to pause and fast forward to the actual showing of the video to skip some of his biased opinion, and we'll get into my own. One editing tool is pausing. Again, this is pre-recorded. Let's watch some of the video.
We're on cameras up here. No, I just want to make sure I just yeah, what's up? I'm Michael Weitzel. I'm being asked to leave by the police because of Donald Trump.
Hey, I'm a Donald Trump.
I'm going to opine that that is not a Donald Trump hat. It is a hat we often associate with Donald Trump's campaigns of 2016 and 2024, and Donald Trump's abysmal existence in our White House at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So the people who want to remove him for having political attire, I'm going to disagree. Make America Great Again was used by, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the Bushes, Clinton, and Trump. The actual message there, make America great. Well, what's wrong with that? And again, okay, that's suggesting that America is not currently great. And right now, in 2025, I would suggest maybe we're not so great because of the efforts of Donald Trump. But nowhere on that hat does it say anything about Donald Trump.
I'm a MAGA. Yes, I am. So I just want all the coppers you got to deal with them MAGA, but they're not political here. They don't want any kind of political.
So those flags over there, those are pre-approved. Those flags over there.
Those flags over there are football team, or soccer team. The Europeans call it football. We call it soccer. Those flags are team flags. They're not Democrat flags. They're not Republican flags. They're not woke flags. They're not MAGA flags. They're team flags. And yeah, people will go to a sports event and cheer on their team or heckle the other team, whichever the case may be.
Those aren't political. So my question to you guys is, are these rules equally enforced on everybody?
And here's my question to you.
And the only way I can do that is if I enforce it with you.
Or you just go out.
Go out and handcuff. So I'm being threatened with arrest. What law am I?
Well, of course you're being threatened.
All right. He's going to give some of his political commentary, his biased commentary. So I'm going to fast forward. All right. The biased commentator, who I biasly agree with on a lot of points, seems to confuse. Now, the guy bought a ticket and he's there for a game. So in my attempt to be unbiased, he should be allowed to be at the game because he's not being unruly. And in my opinion, he's not even wearing a political hat. He is wearing a hat that we choose to associate with Trump. I have a hat that literally is associated with Trump, but on the other side, it actually says, fuck Trump. And I fully believe in fuck Trump. And I wear that hat a lot. I wear it on YouTube videos. I wear it when I go out there, grocery shopping, whatever. But if someone told me we can't have political stuff in our store, in our business, in our establishment, post office, library, whatever, I would take the option of removing the hat. If they have a dress code policy of any kind, and it's as simple as a hat, even on a bad hair day, I would take the hat off. Why this guy didn't offer that, I don't know. Why the security and police didn't suggest that, I don't know. Let us continue with the video.
Those aren't so my question to you guys is, are these rules equally enforced on everybody?
Here's my question to you.
And the only way I can do that is if I enforce it with you.
Or you just go out.
Go out and handcuff. So I'm being threatened with arrest. What law am I breaking? What am I?
Well,
what
we
law
ask you to
am I-
leave, and you stay.
You're asking me to leave.
All right, he's asking what law would I be breaking? Well, if you're told to leave by security or the property management, well, I don't care what kind of property it is. If you're told to leave and you refuse to leave, now you are criminally trespassing. He's not trespassing because he bought a ticket. He's not trespassing because he's wearing a hat. He's not trespassing because he's enjoying the game. He's not trespassing because he's filming. He's trespassed if he refuses to leave when told to leave.
Am I being evicted from the premises?
You're going to be evicted from the premises. You want to make a big...
Okay.
I'd say ejected. We'll get into eviction a little bit later.
We're gonna walk up. I'm being evicted from the premises because
Oh
of
my
Donald
gosh.
Trump. Because we can't wear Donald Trump hats in public.
And even dude calls it a Donald Trump hat. It's not a Donald Trump hat. It's a hat with a message to make America, suggesting that America is not currently great. Make it great again. I think those of us who oppose Trump should adopt that hat because we were a great nation until Trump became president, and we should make America great again by getting rid of Trump. That's just my opinion.
And so now I'm being evicted from the premises.
It's ejected, not evicted.
We need a big procession to get me out of here. Trump is not welcome in St. Louis City, SC.
Well, can you blame them? Trump is not welcome here in Fairfax County, Virginia either. But we're not talking about Trump. We're talking about a hat.
Club.
Okay, he's going to commentate, and to keep the bias my own. Remember during COVID, some businesses would require you to wear a little lightweight mask, little itty bitty tiny lightweight mask, if you wanted to come in. Now they can bring stuff out to you. You can order online, but they reserve the right to kick you. A lot of people got all Karen-y about this. They couldn't put on a mask in to go in and pick up a loaf of bread or pick out a pair of shoes, whatever. Hey, if the business says we want you to wear certain things, you're going to wear certain things. I'm going to pause to get past the commentators' comments because it's all about me. And this is pre-recorded, by the way. If you're in the chat and I'm not responding to your chat, it's because I recorded this when you see it sometime last night while I was on shift, switching between computers. All right, let's go.
That the Trump administration is actually getting involved in this, but we'll finish the video.
Trump is not welcome here. I'm giving MAGA guys.
We're the ones. We're usually better than that.
I know. We're the ones who don't complain about everything you cry about.
Exactly. I know.
But if we're gonna,
You're actually complaining about it right now, but let's continue.
we're gonna do this.
Policy of the department. We don't want. You just take the hat off and go back in.
If I take the hat off, I can go back in.
Yeah.
There you go. You could take the hat off and go back in. common fucking sense. They don't like your hat. They have a dress code. Take the hat off.
We're past that.
You already gave that chance to you?
Oh, you passed that. See, you should have suggested that before you were being escorted out of the building.
No, that's fine.
Just for this game.
Just for this game? Okay.
Tell me all you want, because I'm hearing anybody more pro.
It's not a permanent trespass. It's you can't be here now because, you know, you did what you did. Actually, both parties, I would say. Neither party suggested just take the hat off. But he's not being criminally trespassed. He's being escorted out and told not for the rest of this game. Now, if he continued to refuse to leave, he'd probably be criminally trespassed and not be allowed to go back for at least a year.
He gets it. He's just following the rules. It's not his fault.
Well,
But this is the stadium's rules here.
You good, man.
Thank you, sir. Hey.
Just following the rules. Okay. Yeah. That's what they said in the Nazi trials, right? We were just following orders.
So that's what happens if you wear a Donald Trump hat to a St. Louis City Soccer Club game. Thanks for watching.
Well, lesson learned there, MAGA man. Next time, just don't wear the hat, you know, or wear the hat and take it off when they say, hey, we don't want that hat in here. Like my fuck Trump hat.
Such crybaby.
All right, let's move forward because the commentator does have some stuff I do agree with. All right, and we're back, and
The MLS has a rule that you can't wear any political merchandise. It's nonpartisan, meaning that it's legal. The Supreme Court has consistently held up laws that don't apply specifically to one belief. It's just across the board. It's across the board ban on political merch, and the Trump Department of Justice, instead of focusing on all of the many other things they could be focusing on, the many other bad people out there doing bad things, instead of focusing on releasing the Epstein files, and they're continuing to protect that awful man, and of course Ghislaine Maxwell, who he seems to be giving perks to, instead of focusing on those things, the Trump DOJ is getting involved in this little dispute that they...
Yep. And I'd say it's for the audience. It's for the base. Think of how many times they've threatened Comey for showing seashells that said 8647. They threatened a legal investigation. Comey's still free. They threatened another legal investigation on Comey. I forget something else. The mayor of Newark. They were going to charge him of criminal trespassing from the part of the area that's actually belongs to the city of Newark. Yeah, you're trespassing the mayor from his own city. And I think there's a couple of members of Congress that are being criminally charged or investigated for assaulting ICE agents who wouldn't identify as ICE agents. When really we all saw the video, it was the ICE agents that assaulted them. We're criminally charging these people. That feeds the base. The truth is, none of these people have been convicted. In fact, everything I've mentioned so far has been dropped. One thing that's still out there is a judge who didn't detain a ICE suspected person. She's being criminally charged. That hasn't been dropped yet, but my bet is that's going nowhere. All these threats of charging people, for the most part, public figures anyway, I think that's just bullshit to feed the base. Let's see what's next.
This man has with the St. Louis soccer team, counsel Jack Smith for, quote, alleged illegal political activity. Seriously.
And there's another one. They're going to investigate Mr. Smith. Let's hear more about that.
They are targeting Jack Smith simply because he did his job and investigated Donald Trump. And of course, the grand juries that he worked with, presented the evidence to, came to the conclusion that Donald Trump should be indicted. The Office of the Special Counsel has launched an investigation into Jack Smith, specifically the former special counsel who investigated Trump. The independent federal agency confirmed to CBS News on Saturday that it launched an investigation into Smith for potential violations of the Hatch Act, a federal law that limits certain political activities of federal employees. The New York Post.
Huh. So now they're going to spin the Hatch Act as meaning you can't investigate someone just because they're in the public eye, just because they're I'm going to call bullshit on that. But again, Mr. Smith's never going to actually be charged. And if he is charged, he's never going to be convicted. he goes on to explain how the Trump pansies, the Trump administration, they're saying that Jack Smith and others fabricated investigations to go after their enemies. Oh yeah, they're blaming Jack Smith for expediting. This is their words. Jack Smith rushed it. I tell you. The Department of Justice and the special prosecutor under Biden rush jobbed the the Trump investigations for political purposes. Now, all right, come over onto the liberal side of the fence. What I mean is the correct side of the fence, and take a look at where our gripe is. That they took too fucking long. We had 4 years of a unbiased DOJ to investigate Trump, and we waited much, much too long. Attorney General Garland, who should have been a Supreme Court justice, but Turtle Man McConnell fucked that all up. Because Garland was the Attorney General, we were all pissed off at him, and still are, that we waited so long to investigate Trump's crimes. Some of those crimes he's now been found guilty of, but it all got dropped because he got elected again. Imagine what would happen if we let those if we started those investigations in a timely manner. So if anything, I'm going to call bullshit there. Let us move on. All right. Here's another example of me being on a fence. Nah, not the fence between Ukraine and Russia, because that doesn't exist. Do you guys know a guy named Derek Huffman? He's been kind of on the internet a lot lately. It's this guy.
From all that, I just had to cover this story for you and show you this clip. I think it's so funny to watch this grown-ass man having a meltdown on camera.
This guy. See, my editing skills in StreamYard really, really do suck. All right, this is Derek Huffman, and this snip from The Sun, look over on the left, it's from a YouTube channel called Huffman Time. This is a family who thought that Texas was too woke. Let that sink in for a minute. Texas was too woke for their superior Christian values. What is Texas? Texas is a state that's well known for non-wokeness. I think, was it Texas or Florida started go woke, go broke? That was Florida. I'm sorry. But in 2022, he visited Russia and decided, yeah, these people have better values than Texans, right-wing Texans under Governor Abbott, where you have the right to pull your kids out of school and educate them yourselves. They decided they would be better off in Russia, who, by the way, had, at the time, just recently invaded Ukraine, illegally, immorally, just up and invaded Ukraine. Let's watch a little bit.
And I'm so grateful that you're doing this for me so that I can do this for our family.
A dad from Texas has been sent to the front line by Vladimir Putin just months after he moved his young family to Russia to escape woke America.
Woke America. Boy, if you had a little foresight and saw that Donald Trump would win the election and see what Donald Trump's doing now, I wonder if he's regretting this move. This is why I'm on the fence with this. I say, let him die on the Ukrainian front. But here's the problem. He's got 3 innocent children, 3 young innocent children. They don't need that shit. And we'll get into why here in a bit.
46-year-old Derek Huffman has been thrown to the wolves by the deranged Russian wartime regime.
Thrown to the wolves. I don't know if we'll catch that a lot during this coverage, but thrown to the wolves is what he and his wife said on their channel. Because Russia is what Russia is, those comments have been scrubbed. Let's continue.
According to his devastated wife, who is now reportedly begging the US government to save him. Derek.
Literally, She cried while walking, while vlogging, somewhere in the Russian countryside, just outside of Moscow, where they have two, count them, two American immigrant homes from this effort to bamboozle Americans. She was literally crying, saying they throw him to the wolves, and begging U.S. government officials to help him out. You're not going to find that video on the Huffman tribe, Huffman family, Huffman tribe time, Huffman time. That's the name of it, up there in the top left-hand corner, because it's a YouTube channel and they're in Russia. And guess who got it scrubbed? Yeah, the Russian government.
Uprooted his home life and jetted off to the small town of Istra, just 25 miles from Moscow, alongside his wife, their 3 daughters, and their husky. The Texan, along with wife Diana, decided to move to Russia after claiming the US education system had become too progressive. After their daughter
Texas education system's too progressive. Oh boy.
was taught about lesbian values. A trip to Moscow in 2023 later convinced the family that Russia was the perfect place to bring.
So he didn't move in 2022. Apparently, he visited in 2023. And after 2023, when Trump is on the rise again and anti-woke movement is really big, this is what he did based on a short visit to Russia. A short visit, by the way, which Russia allows Westerners to see and hear what they want Westerners to see and hear.
Bring up their children in a more traditional society. Derek applied through the Shared Values Visa Scheme, which attempts to...
Shared Values Visa Scheme. That's a propaganda bullshit produced by Putin and some Americans. Tim Pool. Tim. Let's go swimming in the pool. Okay. Yeah. And not very many Americans have bitten that bait, but Mr. Huffman certainly did.
Attract foreigners who reject destructive neoliberal ideologies which Putin claims are often pushed by the West. The family made the move and expected to start their dream lives. But Derek soon found himself in trouble after he agreed to join the Russian military in a non-combat capacity.
Oh, okay. American veterans, how many times have we heard promises from the recruiter or from the career counselor that we're going to have life a certain way, and then once we get out of basic training, we realize, oh shit, they lied to us. So Russian recruiters lying to their recruits is not unique to Russia, shall we say.
He believed he would be given a role such as a welder or a war correspondent due to his lack of experience as a soldier. But Diana revealed in a vlog uploaded to the family's YouTube channel that her husband has now been drafted to near the front line as a fully fledged fighter. The heartbroken wife...
This footage is her walking down the gravel road on their channel, Huffman Time, crying, begging American officials to save her husband, begging for thoughts and prayers. Of course, we all send our thoughts and prayers. But she's very distraught. This is where the thrown to the wolves came from. This video has since been scrubbed, and we're going to see a little update from her in a little while.
Wife says she fears for Derek's life as he doesn't speak any Russian and had only been given a limited amount of training. Since being deployed to fight against Ukraine, Derek has only been able to speak to his loved ones on a handful of occasions. His last...
Yeah. Okay, American veterans, you're in basic training, AIT, A school, whatever, tech school if you're Air Force. How often do you get to call home? Okay, nothing unique about Russia here either. This is from Father's Day in June. He's apparently in some form of training, and he was allowed to call home or video log or whatever you call it.
Message came in June on Father's Day in the US as he spoke to his family while wearing military combat gear.
See, I'm doing well. Probably see I've lost a few pounds. I miss y'all more than you can imagine, and I can't wait to see you. Hopefully I get a vacation some point and I get to come home and spend a couple of weeks with you. But man, you're on my mind 24/7, and just know that what I'm doing is important to me and important for our family. I miss you so much. I love you. Today's Father's Day. Wish I could be there, but I'll be home for the next one. So Y'all take care of each other, and I love you very much. Bye.
And then we started getting news reports like this. Derek Huffman killed in drone strike.
In everyone's life, there's a need.
This picture, there's something wrong with the timing sequence. The guy on the right there, that is the propagandist American traitor who's trying to convince American families to go to Russia. The lady to his right, our left, that is Mrs. Huffman. That's the same lady we saw crying and begging American officials to help save her husband from this being thrown to the wolves thing. And she's smiling. And this is after the news reports of his death.
To be happy, yeah.
Texas father who moved his family to Russia to escape wokeness in the United States sent to front lines in Ukraine, according to these reports.
Let the sun shine.
Examining Texas man who moved family to Russia died in Ukraine war. Again, according to reports. So this is actually from Snopes. Well, Snopes is no longer as an effective fact checker as they used to be. Quite frankly, because people complained that their correcting right-wingers got annoying, so some right-wingers bought the company out, and now they're not so accurate. I don't know.
I smell your way.
What we know, okay. Oh, confirmed killed by drone strike. That's from Lead Stories. I'm not familiar with them.
Oh, when your heart
Derek Huffman, yeah, okay, drone strike.
feel the touch.
Now, personally, I don't know if he's been deceased on the Ukrainian front. And for the individual, Derek Huffman, I don't give a fuck. He left America for Russia while Russia was illegally attacking another country, unprovoked, and he volunteered for the military. He deserves what he deserves. The problem is there are 3 young human beings who do not deserve to lose their father. So this is why I'm on the fence on this one. And I really don't know if he's been killed by a drone strike or not, because there's conflicting reports, much like another issue, which I swore off earlier, but here I am again. I'm probably going to cover that after this.
Are you doing well? I hope you're good. I hope you're having a nice time. Happy Sunday to you, wherever you're watching me from. Right? Let's talk about Derek Huffman, the man who left America with his kids and his wife because he, quote unquote, is not into this woke lifestyle happening in America. When I mean the woke lifestyle, is the LGBTQIA, blah, 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 and he left. Derek Huffman is allegedly.
I want to remind you, I'm recording this from what you see as last night, so I cannot see your chats. But thank you if you are chatting, and please enjoy your conversations with each other. Probably 48 hours after this posts, I'll be able to see the chats, but not right now as I record this, and not even as I play it on YouTube.
That. Let's listen to those videos, and then I'll be back with the commentaries. We'll talk about it extensively. Make sure to subscribe. I'll be back.
Hey guys, breaking news. Derek Huffman, the American from Texas who joined the Russian army to go participate in a genocidal war of aggression in Ukraine, has been killed. And there's even drone video of the strike. Now, I haven't seen it myself, but I'll get my hands on it.
There's drone video footage of him dying. I haven't seen it myself. Trust me, bro. Wow, that is so fucking familiar with a smaller corner of YouTube that I've been a participant in. I have the evidence, but I haven't seen it yet. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Again, this is pre-recorded, both my voice and this guy seems overly excited about these girls possibly losing their dad. Dad deserves it. The girls do not. Let's not be so fucking happy about it.
Then I'll update you guys and let you know generally what I saw. Now remember, this is the dude who picked up his wife and 3 daughters and from the safe confines of Texas moved to Russia and then joined an illegal genocidal war on behalf
I'll agree with that. An illegal genocidal war. Yes. Okay.
of the Russian army, was told he'd get a rear non-combat role, but of course you can't trust the Russians or the Russian army especially.
You can't trust the United States Army, the United States Air Force, United States Navy, or the United States Marine Corps, and I'm going to guess the United States Space Force. Although, if you get recruited into the United States Space Force and told non-combat role, it's probably accurate. Yeah. Did I ever tell you about the Bangalore torpedoes? Another story. Some of you are more familiar with me, know about the Bangalore torpedoes. That was a career counselor. So, yeah, recruiters and career counselors lying to recruits and soldiers is nothing unique to Russia, although Russia is very well known for lying on all levels.
And he got thrown right into combat immediately with only 2 weeks of training in Russia.
No. He had been in training for a couple weeks when he was allowed to call home and make a video on Father's Day. When is Father's Day? That's in June. It was mid-July that we started getting reports of his demise. It was early July that the wife, while crying and asking American officials to help save him, that's crazy, man. It was at least 2 weeks between the time he went off to training, at least 2 weeks, and she said he had at least 2 more weeks. Is 4 weeks enough time? Nope, I don't think so. If training is that short for combat soldiers, I'm wondering why we didn't go to Russia with the War of Russia in the 80s. Maybe the training schedules changed. For an American infantryman in the Army, you have 8 weeks of basic training, and you have, I think it was 7 or 8 weeks of infantry AIT. If you're in an infantry unit in the Marine Corps, you went to 8 weeks of basic training at something like Camp Lejeune, Paris Island. And then you had about 7 or 8 weeks of infantry training. And then you had specialty training after that. So infantry soldiers, Marine Corps are probably the best trained. Right behind them is United States Army Infantry, Benning School for Boys. So I would agree this was a very quick demise, but it's been more than 2 weeks. Let's get our facts. Let's stay on the fence until we have more facts.
Which you didn't understand, he's got no military experience. This was entirely to be expected. There are 1,100,000 Russian casualties. The average lifespan of a Russian infantry soldier is like 7 to 10 days tops.
I don't know if that's accurate. 7 days lifespan. If you're illegally invading another country that did nothing to provoke it, I would say that's too long for the individual. Now, to the young sons and daughters, we want their daddies to come home, especially most of the Russians who are conscripted, not lied to, actually forced to go to the front lines, forced to put on the uniform. That's kind of tragic. And it's really tragic for all the kids involved. But Derek, if he is dead, I'm sorry, he deserves it. His kids do not.
And you know what? His wife is now going to get a sack of potatoes because they won't give her death benefits because the Russian army will do what it always does. They'll lie.
Apparently, the sack of potatoes thing has been debunked. There is no SGLI in Russia that's a sack of potatoes. See, even the left gets things wrong, and that's why sometimes I'm on the fence. I am 100% against Putin's invasion of Ukraine. I am 100% in favor of Ukraine winning. I am 100% against Donald Trump, and I am on the fence with, what do they call it, woke? I say live and let live. If I don't want to marry a gay man, I won't marry a gay man. If the guy next door marries a gay man, that's between them. How does it affect me? If I see them kissing each other and it bothers me, I just look in a different direction. Okay, let's continue.
Say the dude is missing, even if they know he's dead, and that's it, and that's all. Goodbye, Derek.
Has Derek Huffman lost his life fighting for Russia? The Huffman family from Texas moved to Russia some time ago, blogging their entire journey on the other app. Now their channel has gone very quiet over the last week or so. Derek has been sent to the front lines after originally joining.
It did go quiet after the wife cried and begged American authorities to save her husband, which is ironic because she didn't trust American authorities when they decided to move to Russia. That's why it went quiet. It didn't go quiet because she was ashamed or embarrassed. It went quiet because Russia said, no. You cannot contradict our propaganda.
Wanting to be a welder, some type of mechanic because he has certain skills, but then he was
all right.
sent to the
Something's
front
coming
line
for work. Something's coming for work. I will be back in a second for you guys. And I'm back. Oh, by the way, this is pre-recorded. I'm not seeing your chats as you chat it. Okay. Derek is okay. You see the lady, the big picture. That's the lady who I forget what the channel's name is. And to our left is a British sounding fella kind of reporting on this, and the pictures behind him, that's the Huffman family on their trip to Russia to decide, yeah, we want to defect to here. And in the top frame, that's Derek, and in the bottom frame is the wife, and that's just not any picture. That is a picture from when she was pleading for American officials to come save her husband from Russia. Let's continue.
Further information, but concerning for his family and possibly a disastrous move.
Actually, if I remember this, there's a lot of this stuff. Different people celebrating the death of Derek Huffman, and I get it, but let's not forget there are innocent children involved in this. Yeah, a lot of people are okay. We've stopped the anti-Derek stuff, and we're about to get into the propaganda. So let's move a little bit more forward. Oh yeah, there's another one. Okay, oh, there it is. Okay, let me get to right about there. Let's play it slowly.
On the battlefield. Slava Ukraine.
Remember Derek Huffman, the guy who thought America was too woke, so he moved his entire family?
Another.
Okay. The gentleman on the right is the piece of shit American traitor who's trying to dupe other Americans into Putin's propaganda. He started this movement to get Americans to move to Russia, to suck Putin's dick. I'm sorry, to escape wokeism in America. Even now, after Trump has won the election, 6 months into the Trump administration, he is still trying to get Americans to move to Russia and become Russian. The property that he had assigned for the migrants from America has two houses. One is the Huffman family, and one is another more private family we don't know anything about. And this, with the whatever message that is in Russian to please the Russian authorities, I have no idea what it is. Now, this is after reports of Derek's demise. Mrs. Huffman is kind of smiling. Why? Well, I'm on the fence here. Part of me thinks because she's a bitch and doesn't really care that her husband died. Or maybe the husband's not really dead and she knows it. Or maybe inside she's really torn up, but the Russian authorities took about a week to get to her, taking down her complaint video and coaching her into going online with this asshole on the right to further the propaganda and fake being happy. Let's watch a little bit of this.
American, and this, I'm an American standing in Russia with.
No, you're not an American. You were born in America. You selected to leave America and become a Russian. Do not call yourself an American. If you are an American, you're a fucking traitor. Let's continue.
Another American.
No, she is not an American. If she is an American, she's a fucking traitor. She is a Russian. Maybe she hasn't gotten through the immigration process yet, but she is a Russian. She hates America. This bitch hates America, and she's smiling. Look at that. She's so happy. And these two people hate America. I don't care. Say what you will about woke or right-wing extremism or left-wing extremism. I'm sorry. We are still a melting pot. We are still a mix. There's probably as many people in the chat who agree with me as disagree with me. There's probably as many people in the chat who hate Trump as love Trump. I mean, as a whole, we're on the fence. Right now, the pendulum has swung way in the right, way to the right, where we have ICE extremism and Trump extremism. And I have a feeling it's going to swing violently to the left. And that's America. We go back and forth. These people, absolutists, hate America, moved to Russia voluntarily. But let's not forget the innocent kids who had nothing to do with it.
And this lady is important because she is actually married.
Isn't that a pretty smile? No, not really.
To Derek Huffman, who right now is famous or infamous, depending upon how you look at it, in the international news for having moved to Russia and then being sent to the front lines. Is that true? It
is true that he's being sent to the front lines. All the propaganda in the world is not going to change that.
Russia grabbing Americans off the street and sending them to the front lines?
Oh. Is Russia taking Americans off the streets and sending them to the front lines? Now, Derek, he's in his 40s. So Derek was not kidnapped, conscripted, drafted. He volunteered. Okay. But in Russia, male citizens 18 to 30, which makes a double protection for Mr. Huffman. One, he's not a citizen yet. Two, he's over 30. They are subject to mandatory 12-month conscription. That's what they call draft. Deferments and exemptions exist, like bone spurs, if you're an oligarch, have been narrowed significantly since 2022. Derek would not be drafted because, one, he's over 30, and two, he's not yet a Russian citizen. But that's the Russian law on the books. Here's what's in reality. Foreign nationals were reported rounded up during police raids. Oh, does that sound familiar? People being rounded up by police raids. This is where it gets different, especially in gyms or migrant communities. Actually, that's still the same. Read it again. Foreign nationals were reported rounded up during police raids, especially in gyms or migrant communities, and pressured either to enlist or face deportation. Gee, that sounds so fucking familiar in the last 6 months. Although our deportations didn't have an option of serving, some of them served with the promise that they wouldn't be deported. And here they are being deported. But we're talking about Russia now. Okay. Western immigrants, particularly those entering under the shared values visa, which is what these two pieces of shit American traitors did, targeting citizens from 47 Western countries, which include the United States of America, are not required by law to serve under mandatory conscription. However, there are reports of Western visa holders being drafted as conscripts. They're anecdotal. They may seem rare under the Russian propaganda system, but they are systematic. As Russia loses more soldiers every day in the Ukrainian invasion than America did during Vietnam, official, quote, conscription policies will likely change. And that's just the official ones. All right, let's continue.
Welcome to Expat American. I am the Expat American. Find out what's going on in Russia when I talk to her right now.
Hello friends, Derek Huffman here. I wanted to let you know little updates, what's going on with me. I have joined the Russian military.
Quite the propaganda site. He is really trying to entice Americans and other Westerners to do what the Huffman family did. Cheerful music. Look at that lovely footage of the best parts of Russia. I mean, if I take a ride on the metro system, I can get a picture of just as lovely as that, But later on down the road, there's going to be some pretty nasty shit. I guess it's the same with New York City, except the graffiti's inside the train. Let's continue.
The news headlines. Right or wrong, good or bad, what have you heard? What are the exciting headlines that you've heard about your husband and your family?
Oh my gosh, so many things. That my husband's dead. That
We've heard that too. Is he? We don't know. I'm on the fence on the death or life of Derek Huffman as of August 2025. I don't know.
my children are starving. That I'm a drunk and I've been drinking all the time again. That the potatoes that showed up on my doorstep from the delivery that we ordered from the food.
These are typical types of rumors and exaggerations of rumors, much like we see with the rabbit hunt, which I swore off, but I'm going to get into later on in this presentation. People hear things and they exaggerate. I am not buying for a minute. I'm not buying for a second. I'm not buying for a fraction of a second that the SGLI in Russia is a sack of potatoes. And she's not claiming that. She's actually denying that. I think she claims that it was an online food delivery like DoorDash, something like that. Our local Safeways now, you can order online and someone to do your shopping for you and bring it to you. No, I'm not buying that sack of potatoes was the payoff. Let's continue.
Grocery store is a payment because my husband died.
A big part of it for me is about the respect and earning our place here in Russia, earning our citizenship.
Oh, that's right. He wanted respect by enlisting in the military with a guarantee that he would never see combat. Is that's how you artificially earn respect? I don't know.
Okay, so then tell us, what is the truth?
My husband's not dead. He's alive and well, and he is serving the country with honor.
Okay.
The potato.
Serving a country that's invading another country and committing acts of genocide with honor. Yeah. This is propaganda, folks.
We're store-bought.
Okay.
We have grocery delivery because of the location of where we are. So we had them delivered to our house. So they did show up randomly, I guess. Mm-hmm. And my kids are not starving. Mm-hmm. They are.
All right, that's one of their children there.
Fed very well. We have better food here than we've ever.
That's the other one there. I think there's 3. There's 2 more in America because they were smarter and older and smarter enough to say, we're not falling for this shit.
Had
right.
Fresh groceries.
Okay, there's the 3rd one.
Are delivered every other day,
right?
With vegetables and meat and cheese.
And by the way, I think I was on the fence about fogging the children's faces out, but they shared it. It's all over the internet, and I thought maybe for the purposes of this, it's important that you see them. 3 very young American children who don't know what their parents have gotten them into. I don't know what the status is right now in August of 2025. Is Derek alive? Is he dead? If he's going to stay on the front, the chances are he's going to be dead if he's not already. And these children are going to be stranded in a foreign country at the mercy of that foreign country. Not just any foreign country, but let's face it, Russia.
This is very well-rounded food.
It's important to note that this is what you're saying, propaganda that are lies.
Yes.
And
No. Stephen Rose is not a Floridian. He is a Russian by choice.
These lies are being spread by mainstream Western media, mm-hmm. by political people. And what that means is these people are either knowingly lying or they've been fooled.
Yes.
Yes, that's an
or you're knowingly lying. It's really hard to tell.
Important distinction to note. Mm-hmm. But I know there are a lot of regular Westerners watching, and they hear these headlines and they're scared because they're thinking they've been told all their life from DC, from Hollywood, that Russia's a scary place.
I'm not afraid of Russia. I'm just staying the fuck away from it. And if we do put boots on the ground in Ukraine, I know that we will kick ass and take names. The number one fear of the typical Russian soldier is the idea of having to fight American soldiers. The number one fear of Russian special force soldiers is to have to fight American SEALs, Rangers, or Green Berets.
And then they hear these headlines that make it sound like an American family came to Russia, and of course they've been abused and they've been put in trouble. So can you...
Well, if you haven't been abused, why the week vacation from YouTube? And why the scrubbing of the very video that you were crying and begging American officials to save your husband, who was, in your words, was thrown to the wolves?
Briefly tell us, like, how you went from being an American family in America to being an American family here, and what were your life decisions basically, and why?
So it all started when my husband and I were in Arizona, and we decided that we wanted a better life for our daughters. We wanted to be able to raise them in an area that is more Christian, that has better values, and my husband grew up.
You wanted to follow Christian values. So you moved from Arizona, born in Arizona, moved to Babylona, got a condo for a stoner. Got a stoner for King Tut. Okay, I'm sorry. They moved from Arizona to Texas to chase better Christian values. Okay.
In Texas, all of his family is there. So we decided, let's go there, and we'll be able to do all of the things that we really wanted to. We could buy some land, kind of be off the grid. But there was a lot of things shifting in the political.
Do you know how easy it is to be, quote, off the grid in Texas? You got generators, you got legal allowances to homeschool your children. You can grow your own food. There's a lot of land in Texas. Hell, we know a YouTube character who grows his own food on, was it 1/3 acre? I forget the plot. You can do it in Texas. You can live off the grid in Texas, Arizona, New York, Virginia. Plenty of places and opportunities to, quote, live off the grid. A lot of people do it in Montana, and there's some harsh weather in Montana. All right, let's continue.
Agendas and things happening. There was a safety factor too that was pretty monumentous that happened a couple of months after we moved to Texas. A little girl was stolen from her front lawn from a
little girl was stolen from her front lawn. That's pretty horrible. Human trafficking and forced prostitution is illegal in both the United States of America and Russia. However, in Russia, due to corruption, it is very prevalent. Russia's sex trade is larger and more visible in big cities, partly due to tourism. They like foreign girls. They like little foreign girls. There's State Department warnings about it. Shit. You left before the Trump administration took over. There are still State Department warnings about it. The Global Slavery Index of 2023. What year did you move out there? 2023? Okay. The Global Slavery Index of 2023 estimates that roughly 1.9 million people in Russia live in slavery conditions, including forced labor, debt bondage, and forced prostitution. Are your little girls orphaned in a country like this? You fucking bitch. The fuck did you do to your children? I do not like what your husband did. I do not want him dead. I want him to come back from Ukraine, learning his lesson, and take your children back to the safety of the United States of America. You fucking cunts. Let me read that again. The Global Slavery Index of 2023, the year you moved out there, estimates roughly 1.9 million people live in slavery-like conditions, including forced labor, debt bondage, and forced prostitution.
UPS truck driver. She was 7 or 8, super gorgeous little blonde girl with big bows in her hair that she would always wear, and just taken from her front lawn in part of it, and having so many people welcome.
All right. This is why I didn't fog out the children's faces. This is the point I'm making. This is a Western little girl who knows nothing about the culture, and now she's going to be, sadly, subject to the possibility that the corruption in Russia, who hates everything America and has a certain idea of what might sell in the sex trade business, is very likely to become one of the roughly 1.9 million people. I hope somehow these kids make it back to the United States safely, and these parents suffer for their crimes against their own children.
And having so many people just show us something we've never felt before. We wanted to be Russian so much.
You want to be Russian so much, you can fucking be Russian. Why don't you send the girls home to be with their older siblings who are fucking smarter than both you and your husband?
Faster than the 5 to 6 year process that it would normally take, because we want.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They're trying to bypass the immigration process by buying the propaganda and enlisting in the military. I think I already covered that.
Wanted to be Russian. That's how we feel at heart. The open arms and the help because they want to, not because.
So at heart, you're fucking Russian. Okay.
They're wanting some monetary funds or something. It just meant a lot to us, and my husband has always wanted to be a part of something where he felt like he's done something good in his life and for his family.
So he felt inspired to join after you guys moved here?
Yes.
Not inspired, he was looking for a shortcut to citizenship.
Seeing all the different posters everywhere, that it was something that he could actually do too because of his age and the fact that we are migrants essentially.
Oh, look, Americans, they're sharing something that you can call, and you too can go to the Ukrainian front.
He didn't think he would even be able to go and join, but being able to have his eyes open and see that that was a possibility is something that I could be a part of.
So if a Western family wanted to move here, but they did not want to serve in the military, the dad, let's say, they don't have to.
No, they definitely.
Russian male citizens 18 to 30 are subject to a mandatory 12-month conscription. Deferments and exemptions exist, but have been narrowed significantly since 2022. Derek would not be drafted because, one, he's over 30, and two, he's not yet a Russian citizen, but that's Russian law on the books. I have already read this, but I'm doing it again. Repetition is king. In reality, foreign nationals were reported rounded up during police raids, especially in gyms or migrant communities. That's your two-family community, and pressured either to enlist or face deportation or charges. Western immigrants, especially those entering under the Shared Values Visa, launched in last year, targeted citizens from 47 Western countries, targeted them. There's a sucker born every minute.
I don't have to. My husband.
So it was his choice to sign up.
100%.
100%.
I defend the country, our new country. I've earned our place here.
Our new country. Okay. He said himself, he's not an American, he's a Russian.
And nobody can tell me different or tell my family different that we don't belong here.
To help people.
They're going to, if you do reach your demise, they are going to tell you that. It's not going to be us. I say your children belong here in America. You guys belong there in Russia. You deserve what you get. They don't.
Understand your sincerity. Is there anything that technically happened or specifically happened with you guys that has been grabbed and manipulated to like the headlines that come from real life, where they took something that was innocent and then they twisted it to help people understand where all these crazy headlines come from?
I think a few things have been twisted.
One of the crazy headlines came from this very woman vlogging from her Russian neighborhood, crying, begging America to save her husband who was thrown to the wolves. Have I already said that? I don't know. I get confused.
There was a media station claiming that he had died, that he was shot by a drone or killed by a drone, and that there's footage. But this elusive...
And to her point, none of us have seen this footage that earlier I showed someone claim that there is. Remember, I said, trust me, bro, there's footage. He hasn't seen it yet, but it's out there. Very similar to our smaller corner of the YouTube.
Footage doesn't exist. I've begged people saying that they've seen the footage to share it with me, and no one will share it. So if you have that footage, please send it to me, because we want to laugh about it, because he's obviously not dead.
Okay.
So we don't know where that comes from.
No.
Very hard to read that body language. How many takes did it take to get this? I don't know. Because we saw in her unguided, self-filmed vlog that she was very upset. She seems very happy now. I don't know, did they get to her? Is she being reassured? Is she being paid? I don't know. It seems sincere. But lately, I've been having a hard time reading people's sincerity. I'll admit it. And this is why this is a report from the fence line, because I'm on the fence about a lot of things.
No, we have no idea where that comes from. I think it was a media station wanting to put themselves on the map and say, hey, you know, we have the breaking news about Derek Huffman and he died. And it's like, but...
Breaking news. Yeah, we're seeing that in our little corner of the YouTube too.
He didn't die. So not really sure, because you had heard that he was being put on the front lines, that you can say, oh, he died because you think that it's likely that he died, or that it's something.
It is, sadly, it is highly likely that if he's not dead yet, his 12-month tour, he will indeed die, as do most Russians and kidnapped immigrants from Russia who get conscripted, North Koreans, Iranians. They are dying. All right.
I think that's a possibility. So you're going to say that it happened so that you can be the one to break the news when it didn't even happen.
Right.
And I think that's kind of where the thought process comes from, all of that.
I believe in the Russian cause. I won't sit here and act like
I believe it's okay to go to a foreign country who did nothing against you and commit acts of genocide. I really am glad that you are out of my country, Derek. I feel bad for you. I really feel bad for your kids. But it's a good thing that you got the fuck out of here, because you don't belong here.
I'm the know-it-all on the whole situation, but I know enough to know that Russia is just in their cause.
So
just in their cause. Wow.
you have your own channel that you run.
Yes.
And you put out stories. Do you think
Huffman Time. The link's not below in mine. This is copied from a video by the propagandist, the American Trader. So don't look for the link in my description. But the channel is Huffman Time. Go ahead and watch it for yourself. Now, the part where she was crying and begging America to save her husband, that's been scrubbed. She either took it down or Russia took it down. I don't know. Her demeanor here is completely different from that demeanor. But yeah, I say go watch it and watch how stupid these parents are and what poison they're putting their kids through.
I think that the media is twisting some of the stories that you've made? Is that
100%? They have definitely gone on our channel, and they even took. I had one that I put up because I was a nervous wife, and hearing that my husband was being put in the front, and
oh, just a nervous wife. I mean, to her credit, yeah. Anytime American troops deployed anywhere, the most hardcore members of the Wives Club, they got nervous. They didn't beg people to save their husbands from the deployment. So there's a little difference than just a typical nerve. Yeah, when soldiers deploy, the wives get nervous. That's natural. But there was something more to it. I wish I could find a copy of the video where you were more than nervous.
That he could die. I was really nervous, and so of course I came to the channel and I said, please pray for our family because there's all these things going on right now. And at that point, he had only been in.
It wasn't always things going on. It was Derek got thrown to the wolves. Thrown to the... I may be paraphrasing some of that, but quote, thrown to the wolves, end quote, that is an exact quote. Not always things going on. Something could happen. He got thrown to the wolves. All right.
For about a month.
I'd say he fed himself to the wolves, but okay.
He was still doing his training, and he still had more training that he had to finish up before he was even being put.
Yeah, that one, I don't know if it was TikTok or YouTube, that one guy that said he only had 2 weeks of training. It was more than 2 weeks into it before Father's Day, and it was more than 2 weeks after Father's Day. So that 2 weeks thing is very easily determined to be inaccurate. Is it shorter than the American 8 weeks plus 7 weeks for the Army, or 8 weeks plus 7 weeks plus another 8 weeks for the Marine Corps? It does seem shorter, but not that short.
But on the front lines, so I was just calling all our prayer warriors out there. The channel was created for our friends and family, and that was initially what it was created for. It was never this big ploy to make money or to be famous YouTube stars or anything. It was just to be able to keep our family and friends in the loop.
I want to show that we're here to assimilate. We want to be Russian citizens. And
oh, you've been assimilated.
This is the best way to do that for me, to make my mark in this world, to make my mark on history.
Now, let's take that down. I see now that I screwed up capturing some of the footage. Part of her story and the propagandist that was hosting her, part of their story was that Russia is a much more faithful and religious country than the United States, and there's less woke and all that shit. Here's some facts I got. Russia, although a large portion of the population does poll to claim to be Eastern Orthodox or Russian Orthodox, a form of Christianity, it's kind of like America. A lot of Americans out there say, yeah, I'm a Christian, but they never go to church. They never read the Bible. They never, I mean, you don't have to go to church to be a Christian or read the Bible, but I mean, the participation rate in Russia, that means people who go to some kind of religious services, church, synagogue, whatever, is 6%. That is 6% of all of Russia. People identify as Orthodox, people identify as Lutheran or Catholic or Islamic or Jewish or all faiths. 6% report regular religious participation. In the USA, we have similar issues. People claim to be this or that, but the marking of people who actually go to churches, Christian churches, Methodist, Baptist, Catholic, Lutheran, Pentecostal, whatever, is 20%. So you escaped a nation with a 20% real religious real religious participation. You escaped that to go to 6%, and you're claiming you did this for religious reasons. You're afraid of woke. You're afraid of woke in what's now it's a Trump run country. You're afraid of woke, where it's hard if you're just traveling to Disney World because Disney's allegedly woke. You're in Texas, really? Okay, all right. So I'm on the fence about the Huffman family. I do not want these children to be fatherless. I do not want them to be stuck in Russia for the rest of their lives in a country that has such a high rate of human trafficking, forced prostitution, especially young Western girls who don't know much about their culture. These girls are very, very vulnerable over there. I know we have our Epsteins, we have our Trumps. They would be vulnerable here, but they're much, much more vulnerable in Russia. All right. Okay, something I swore off. Remember, this is recorded, so whatever you chat to me, I am not seeing at the time you're chatting. And yes, admittedly, this is something I swore off again, and I'm covering him. Last night, as you watch this, actually now, now it is last night, this happened on the YouTube. All right. This is the channel Generally Specific. We have Joe Smith is not Joe Smith. That's GE Swag. He has different titles sometimes. And down there at the bottom is Killa. I'm finding Killa Milla is truly a fair and balanced observer of things, observer and commenter of things. And Generally Specific, I see as him trying. I know because I'm on the fence and I'm being nice to him. That's causing a lot of people to be very, very angry at me. Sorry, deal with it. Sometimes you agree with people on certain things. Sometimes you disagree with them. Yeah, I've said a lot of bad things about him, and a lot of those things I actually believe. Some were meant in joke, some were misperceptions. Generally Specific and I are not taking long showers into the wee hours of the morning together. It's just somebody who I agree with on a few things, including this thing, the rabbit hunts. In the middle there, what they're showing is Sean Porter. A few weeks ago, Sean Porter came out with some stuff that did not make sense to any of us. Well, actually, there's three sides of this issue. There's more sides than three, but there's three sides. There's a side absolutely, positively, 100% believe that Lion self-deleted. We don't know. I'm in Team C. Team A believes Lion self-deleted. Team B, 100% absolutely, positively believes that Lion was unalived by her husband, the rabbit. And those of us in Team C, for the purposes of this argument, don't know. And we admit we don't know. And we observe some things that Team A and some things that Team B say that's one, stupid, and two, actually make sense. I'm Team C. And for the purposes of the rabbit hunt, I believe Generally Specific is also Team C. Does that mean we're on the same team for every fucking thing else? No. It means we're seeing eye to eye on this issue. At least we were last time I spoke to him. I didn't see this whole show, but this is what I did pick up last night. I tuned in, and yeah, I saw that he was live, and I kind of scrolled through it, and this was actually played quite a while before. Let's get into it.
Grow a mustache? I'm like...
And Sean Porter comes back on. Now, actually, this is the second time, and I neglected to record the first time. Or is this the first time? He came on twice this evening, and one time he actually made sense. He brought some stuff to the table that made sense, which is, in my point of view, is quite the opposite of what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks. And maybe it's because of the people he's gathering around himself, but he actually disavowed, is that the word? He actually disagreed with the idea of astrological signs having anything to do with it. He disagreed with the idea that there's a conspiracy that simultaneously attacked, they call her executress in North Carolina and the Baron in Colorado and something else somewhere else. I don't remember. But there's a pizza girl who says that after death, she communicated with Lion, and he disavowed all of that shit. And he very calmly and well articulatedly brought some stuff to the table that actually started me thinking, oh, this doesn't look so good for the rabbit. But I forgot the actual points. But then later on, I came across this clip, which I clipped, and then later on, I actually chatted that I found Sean Porter to be a lot more sensible in the earlier part I wish I had more time to clip it. I'm juggling between two computers. Actually, now I'm at a point where it's just the one computer, but I've already spent way too much time. Your clocks say 1 hour and 14 minutes. Between juggling between work and this, it's been like 6 hours. And really horrible editing. Yes, I suck at this. Jeff, if you're watching, yes, I suck at this. This is not my profession. But I digress. This is pre-recorded, and I'm going to push play now.
All right, so now's your opportunity, G-Swag. You wanted to have a conversation with Sean Porter. There you go. Now, please remain somewhat respectful.
Now, keep in mind, this is after Sean Porter came up earlier, and G.E. Swag and Killamilla, well, maybe Killamilla, I can't remember. G.E. Swag was not on. I'm calling this Joe Smith Derails Panel. In fact, my original intention last night was to create a YouTube stream called Joe Smith Derails the Panel, because this fuck nugget actually derails this. GS, in my point of view, is trying to be objective in this whole rabbit issue. Sean Porter seemed to be more objective on this evening, on the same stream. G.E. Swag wasn't having it because he's apparently not in Team C. He's in Team, I forget the letters. There's a team that absolutely believes she self-deleted, and there's a team that absolutely believes Rabbit did the deed himself. Apparently, Joe Smith, G.E. Swag, is clearly 100% in the team that believes, beyond a doubt, absolutely, Rabbit did not do this, that Lion did this. All right, let's watch him derail this conversation. And keep in mind, up to this point on this issue, this issue, GS has been pretty level-headed about all of this.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna kick you out. That's all. I'm not gonna.
Well, you know how I am.
And he continues to be very clear. He wants to have a conversation, not a derailment. I think he mentions the People's Podcast. We're all familiar with the People's Podcast. They get 6, 8, 10 people up there screaming at each other. All it does is send everyone away with a headache, and no one actually heard anything. Everyone heard themselves. But let's continue.
Be disrespected on my platform like I was that one
I'm
time.
totally a cool dude.
All right.
Totally cool dude. Let's watch and see just how cool is he.
All right, so
my first question is, where'd you get the shirt?
This chick went to see him week before last, and I went to court to advocate
like
for her
Wu-Tang.
disabled sons. Does is he's at the anti-prop.
I kind of fast forward through this. It's unimportant for the ABC teams, but it is an important bit. One of the things Sean Porter does do is advocate for children in public schools who, like my granddaughter, for a while get stuck in those public schools when there are specialized schools for them. But the public schools, this is happening in upstate New York too. Fortunately for my granddaughter, she's out of it now. Now she's in the specialized school and she's thriving. But that's a completely different issue than what we're covering here. Right now, we're covering the ABCs of did Rabbit do it? Did Lion do it? Do we not know? Continue.
Problem, and the street was sometimes supposed to be forgot me. Flag boy, he's a real and trial and do for a year and say, okay.
Sorry about that. I'm skipping through it when I'm recording this.
Stay trying to anyway. That's where now. If you wanted to hear that before the other guy starts making information that I'm 18 years old, but anyway, that's where I got that particular shirt. There is new information that I am allowed to release right now. If you wanted to hear that before the other guy starts making.
Okay, in the previous presence of Sean Porter on the same stream, he mentioned there was something else, but he wasn't sure if he could talk about it. And indeed, he apparently got the permission to talk about it. I want to be careful, make sure I capture something that he very clearly says. Joe Smith, G.E. Swag, listen to this. If you're watching now, listen to this.
Making fun of me or whatever, I could do that or I could wait.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay,
Well,
so
Wu-Tang's for the children.
Absolutely, Wu-Tang for children. I wore my other Wu-Tang shirt for I think 5 out of 8 of the times I mooned Washington.
the evidence, sir.
All right. I'm predicting if the chat is active, people are like reacting positively, negatively to each other, to me. This is pre-recorded. As you're chatting, I'm not here. I recorded this prior to this.
Commissioners.
Sir, get to the evidence. This is breaking news.
All right.
Okay. Well, it's not breaking.
Good.
It's not breaking news. This has been going on for some time.
All right. There's already some talking over each other, and gender specific. I'm sorry, Muxer. Like Muxer, has very low tolerance for people talking over each other. Now, I do too, but I hide it a little bit better. Let's continue.
Hold on. Let me just do some housekeeping. Please don't break in and interrupt. I will if I feel like somebody's filibustering. Nobody can hear anyone if you're talking over each other. Okay. This is not my fucking podcast. I'm not the people's podcast. I don't do the whole yelling, screaming, bickering over each other.
Yeah. See, it wasn't an original thought by me. It was actually something that I watched when I recorded this. Okay.
That Muppet shit can go somewhere else. So please just, go ahead, Sean.
Okay,
thank you, G-Swag. Thank you.
I am going to tell you a story that I am now allowed to tell you. Okay. So here is the story. 10 days ago, Andrea's father.
Okay, 10 days ago. This was played on August 2nd. Whatever happened, A, B, or C, to Lion, happened on May 31st. Are you following? All right. And just to recap, General Specific made clear to all parties he doesn't want people talking over each other, filibustering, doing the TPP thing. And I may have missed it. I think Sean still says it. Okay, let's get to it.
Father was contacted by the accountant that a company credit card that was authorized only with the name of Andrea on it to be used for fuel expenses only for when she was doing errands on behalf of his business to put fuel in the vehicle that he bought her. Okay, he is a car dealer. So this is a credit card that is only supposed to be used for gas purchases. Magically, since the time of Andrea's demise until the time the accountant brought this to Andrea's father's attention and the card was immediately shut off, $1,200 in charges, which is felony level, was put on this card that is in the name of Andrea, that nobody else is ever supposed to have used, nobody else had permission to use, and it's unauthorized. So that is what's going on right now. That is currently in the works. That happened. Now you can go ahead, and this is like an every other day purchase, time after time after time after time after time after time after time till it totaled $1,200. And the accountant has caught it. The accountant at the same time shut off Andrea's phone and tablet because the bills were coming due, as they would say. And so all that stuff happened. I believe it was 10 days ago, last Thursday. So that, yeah, 10 days ago. Anyway, I'm
a little confused on the math. 10 days ago from the 2nd or 10 days ago from the previous Thursday. Either way, well after May 31st.
Not allowed to talk about it. You guys can speculate as to who was making these charges, but
you guys can speculate as to who was making these charges. He did not say Rabbit was making these charges. He said these charges are happening well after Andrea's passing, and you guys can speculate. Let me just go back 9 seconds, it looks like. All right, GE Swag, if you're watching, listen closely. Give it 15 seconds from now.
Ago last Thursday, so that, yeah, 10 days ago. Anyway, I'm now allowed to talk about it. You guys can speculate as to who was making these charges, but remember, when you go to gas,
you guys can speculate as to who's making these charges. He didn't say Rabbit did it. He didn't say some burglar did it. He didn't say anything about who did it. It's been done. Let's continue.
10 days ago, last Thursday. So that, yeah, 10 days ago. Anyway, I'm now allowed to talk about it. You guys can speculate as to who was making these charges. But remember, when you go to gas stations and convenience stores and stores, they have these things called security cameras, and they can see who's actually using the credit card during these transactions.
Bingo. Again, you guys, the audience, Generally Specific, GE Swag, Killamilla, Finkel, who's watching later, we can speculate. But Sean Porter, is not saying it was Rabbit. He's not saying it was a visitor in the Rabbit Lioness household on or after May 31st. He's saying the credit card is being used, a credit card only allowed to be used by Andrea, and it's being used well after her passing. But the key point is you guys speculate. I, Sean Porter, I'm doing a third person, am not saying this is Rabbit, but keep in mind, as the investigation continues, if you swipe the credit card at a gas station, there's a video camera. There's a chance that the video camera can line up the timestamp with a known or unknown face using the credit card, or a grocery store, or a hotel, wherever. All these businesses have security cams. I get it. Some of them aren't very good at tracking, at maintaining this. They go for 12 or 24 or even 48 hours. If nothing happens, they write over the old stuff. So there's a chance it won't be. But keep that in mind. Whoever it is out there who has used this card illegally, whoever it is out there, keep in mind that one or more of these establishments may be over to line up the credit card transaction with a familiar face, be it whoever it is.
Transactions, but the only person authorized and ever authorized to use the card was Andrea and nobody else. So I'm going to let you guys speculate away on that one. I'm just disseminating factual information. You guys form your own opinions.
Now, I repeated him a couple times, and he just repeated again. You guys speculate. You're free to speculate. GE Swag is not having it. He is dead set on derailing this conversation. So far, up till now, Sean Porter has been pretty logical on this stream. I'm not going to say he was logical on previous streams, but he actually was a lot more convincing on this stream, although there were still some confusing questions for me. I can't remember them. Maybe they'll be covered in this. Let's continue.
Sure. All right. G-Swag, you had some questions you wanted to send his way?
Oh, yeah, sure, man. So based on your information, Rabbit is in those security cameras.
You guys speculated, repeated twice by him, between him and me, now 5 times. Okay, I get it. You didn't watch my ring. But if you're watching now, it's now very clear that Sean Porter did not speculate that it was Rabbit. You're speculating that Porter is.
I don't have that information. I haven't reviewed.
So why are you talking about it?
He said we're free to speculate.
Oh, that's a fair question. Why are you talking about it? Why not let the investigation catch whoever's doing it off guard? Now, sorry, Sean, whoever's doing it could very possibly be trying to make efforts to get rid of that footage. I mean, we're talking about country, semi-country gas stations, grocery stores, hotels, right? Spruce Pine's not a big area. How hard would it be for a bad doer to go in and make things disappear? I don't know. I'm not a Mission Impossible operative, but the opportunity's there where it wasn't. If you didn't say anything, he, she, it, or they, who may be behind this credit card use, would more likely be caught off guard.
Well, I'm telling you that the young deceased woman's credit card has been being used in Spruce Pine and other locations after her death, and that she's the only authorized signer on the card. and that no one
Fair
else is
enough.
authorized to use it, and she is dead. So I'll let you all put two and two
Of course
together for
she's
yourself.
dead, dude. Why do you keep bringing that stuff up?
Well, because she's been making charges as recently as 11, 12 days ago.
No, you just
don't get G-Swag? Okay. She's deceased May 31st. She's the only person allowed to use the credit card. The credit card has been used well beyond, I mean, we have all of June, most of July. Not really sure when the 10 days ago stops, but we're 10 days into it. 10 days into whatever the investigation is.
You said Rabbit was doing that.
I didn't say Rabbit.
he
I'm letting you
didn't say that.
speculate.
He didn't.
Even GS is aware GE Swag. He didn't say Rabbit. All right, let's keep going.
So who's making the purchases?
We need to find that out, don't we?
Exactly. So why are you on YouTube talking about it?
Because it occurred.
Based on what?
Based on the credit card statements.
Show the credit card statement.
I don't.
Why? I get it. Everyone on YouTube likes to say, show me the receipts. As I did. When there were claims made to certain phone calls, what are the times of these phone calls? The receipt that was sent to me was a death certificate. That made no sense at all. When I say receipts, I mean receipts of what you're talking about. He's talking about a third party. He's talking about a business auditor, a business accountant. He's telling Dad, and Dad's telling him. He's not going to have receipts, and you know he's not going to have receipts. Therefore, your disingenuous challenge for him to show these receipts just doesn't make any sense because clearly he doesn't have them. He's reporting what he's been told.
Have them. Tim Matthews has
Then
them.
don't
The
talk
father that
about
I just got off the phone with.
Then don't talk about it.
Well, I'm going to talk about it because it's a free country, sir. Are we in communist China?
No, that's slander.
It's slander to say, are we in communist China?
No, it's slander to insinuate that Rabbit is the one taking advantage of Rabbit.
It could be slander if he said Rabbit was the one. He's very clearly, if you learn to take the wax out of your ears and put it in your mouth, he very clearly did not accuse Rabbit of doing this. He say it's going on, which I think is a wonderful part of the investigation, because whoever's picture does, if any, lines up with the credit card use, we have a suspect in an unsolved death. Not necessarily proof positive, because if you think about it, Andrea left this world on May 31st. Either she did it to herself, or there was an accidental discharge, or Rabbit did it to her. I'm Team C. I don't know. But whatever happened to her, she's now gone, and her purse and her belongings and her files are all still in that house. Who has access to the house? Rabbit? Okay. Suspicious. Who else has access to the house? Anybody Rabbit invites in. Who else has access to the house? One thing Sean Porter did point out, I think it was earlier in this video, is that there's been another mysterious death in Rabbit's neighborhood. Could someone be sneaking in? So it's a strong circumstantial evidence if it turns out to be Rabbit using these credit cards, this credit card. It's still not proof positive. And Sean Porter is being a lot more careful about not slandering, about not tainting jury pools. As I don't know if he's reacting to my calling him out on it or others. He's being a lot more cautious about it. But GE Swag is still on that, I've got to be right. So let's see how right GE Swag is.
If anything, it would be false light invasion of privacy, but
No.
that doesn't actually
you-
apply in this circumstance because it's true.
So who are you saying is making these purchases?
I'm not saying anyone. I said you're free to speculate, sir. Again,
How many times, GE Swag, do you have to be told speculate? He's not pinning this on Rabbit or anybody in Rabbit's orbit. He's saying it's happening.
and we're not in communist China. Make up your own mind.
He's just
Go-
letting
go
us know
ahead.
that someone is using Lion's credit card.
Someone is
So-
using the deceased young lady's credit card.
And may I remind you that Joe Smith, G.E. Swag, runs a business. I have to question how successful is that business if you don't have business-related credit cards. Killa apparently also has a business, and he gets it. Let's see if we're there yet. Talk, Killa.
All the way up
So
until
don't you
11 or
think
12 days.
that the cops would be really on that?
The cops are on it.
So
The
why
cops
are they
have been
calling the
notified.
person then?
Be- Sir, that's up for
You
the
have-
police
you-
department to handle.
Sean's being a lot more calm and composed than he was when I was on a panel with him. Okay, yes, I don't know if I've influenced that, Tav, or if others have influenced it, but he's a lot more logical and calm, and Joe Smith not so much.
You have.
So I have I pardon me, G Swag. I do have a question from somebody that just texted me this question.
This is a good question.
The license plate, right?
No, what was the name? What?
Did you see that? Generally Specific is about to read a text he just got. Has a question about what? About the use of the credit card. Joe interrupted Smith, G.E. Swag. He's going to interrupt and say something about license plates. Why don't you just shut the fuck up and listen to the host read what the host is about to read, because you do not know what it's about. I didn't know what it was about until it played through. Let's play it through.
Was there a name on the credit card?
There was a business name, and then there was Andrea's name, and that was it.
What's the business name?
I'm not going to disclose
G-Swag,
that. It's up
please.
to Tim
Of
Matthews
course.
to disclose that if he wants to.
I'm sorry.
Let me do my inquiry, and then
Hey, G Swag is insistent on interrupting us, ignoring Generally Specific's instructions to not talk over each other, because Generally Specific shares something with Muxter, with myself, anybody else who left the people's podcasts. We hate people talking over each other. It drives us absolutely fucking nuts. You've seen me spurg out over this. You've seen Generally Specific spurg out over this. You've seen Muxter spurg out of this. It drives us fucking nuts. And GE Swag is totally ignoring that. Or is he? Is it deliberate? Because he's going to get a reaction out of Generally Specific that totally fucking derails this conversation.
I'll give it back over
Okay.
to you. I apologize. There's another person that's asking a very salient question here. Because if I'm married to my wife, that makes me an authorized user.
And that's a fair question. Yes, a husband, a wife can use each other's credit cards, personal credit cards. We're married, we share expenses, we can use each other's, unless we've designed it so that they can't. But this is not a personal credit card. This is a business credit card with an authorized user. I think Sean's about to explain that.
This is not a credit card owned by Andrea. That she was a permissive user. The card is owned by the business, not by a married couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I mean that.
So
Killa also runs a business. He gets it.
No, I have my own business, so I could say that. Just because I have a business card in my name, and even if, like my wife, she's not authorized to use it because she's not part of said business. So Lion got authorized by the business owner to use said card, so that doesn't transfer over to Rabbit just because they're married.
He is right.
Exactly. He is right. And now Holly and I are not married. And it's probably going away because the company's going away. They got doged. Holly does a lot of business for her employer, and she has a credit card with that employer's name on the credit card, and she is an authorized user. Holly and I go on trips. Hey, a couple of our trips was just north of Asheville, near Spruce Pine, Rivertime. You may be shown pictures of river time by Carolina Mornings. Google up Carolina Mornings River Time. A nice little cabin out there in the woods, which, much to our pleasure, did survive the hurricane. But I digress. Holly and I go on trips, and sometimes she's driving, sometimes I'm driving, and we stop for gas, and one of the credit cards comes out to pay for the gas. Sometimes it's mine, and she swipes it. Sometimes it's her, and I swipe it. We're allowing each other to use the credit card, and we're not even married. Now, there's a credit card in her wallet, at least there was before they started shutting down, that belongs to her employer. The employer's name is on the credit card, not Holly's name, not Finkel's name. The only name on the credit card is the employer, and if she hands it to me and I swipe it, somebody's in trouble. If she swipes it for something outside of the intention of the credit card given to her by the employer, she's in trouble. And Killa gets this. And I think Sean does too. Business owner GE Swag doesn't seem to understand this. Interesting.
Right, and it's an IRS issue, by the way, because it's only for gas purchases while she's in the commission of working on behalf of Tim Matthews' business, his car dealership. So it's not for food. It's not for all the purchases that are being made that are not gas for the commission of that business. So he's not able to write this off his taxes because it's not authorized purchase.
And all that makes sense. And that has to be explained to GE Swag. Makes me question just what kind of business are you running? What are you writing off to the IRS? I have questions.
So it's not only an IRS issue for him, it's simply credit card fraud because there's no way that the authorized user of this card was able to make these purchases over and over and over and over again. And I will let you speculate as to who is doing that.
And so that wasn't the intended purpose of the usage of the card. So
correct.
That's where the fraud would come in, allegedly. Am I correct? Okay. All right. So you go ahead, G Swag. Just
tear me up.
I mean, he's trying to answer your questions. Listen, I understand I'm as annoyed as they're trying this in the court of public opinion too. But we're asking for receipts and stuff like that, and I understand.
But he's providing zero receipts. All he's saying is
it'll be in a police report.
Okay.
Show it. Where's it at? I can say you did.
Make a records request. Do I look like the public information officer for the Mitchell County Sheriff's Office? That's who you need to contact, buddy.
You did it. You have the evidence. I don't.
I don't have.
Yeah, he doesn't have the evidence. He's reporting what Andrea's father told him. And he's only reporting it after Andrea's father gave him permission to tell him. There's no receipts in the possession of Sean Porter on this. Sean Porter, what I would like to see are the receipts that you validated of the phone calls in question. Don't have somebody send me the death certificate. That's not what I have questions about. I have questions about the phone calls. But that's a different story.
Have the actual transaction.
But you're talking about like you
because
do.
I was just told by the owner of the credit card.
But that's hearsay.
That's
That's hearsay. Respectfully, and I'm not saying that he's saying anything that's not true. I'm just saying technically that would be considered hearsay. So it's like trust me.
It would be hearsay. Oh, there's the trust me, bro thing. It would be hearsay if he was trying this in a court of law or a civil court. He's putting this out there for public consumption. He's putting it out there more than 10 days after the credit card is shut off. So the investigation is well underway. He's reporting it as a point of interest. And maybe he's trying to sway the court of public opinion too. But nothing that GE Swag, Killamilla, Sean Porter, Generous Pacific, David Finkel, Jeff from Fine Fix Finish, G2 from Fine Fix Finish, or any of our audiences, there's nothing we can do to sway a jury that a picture and a credit card transaction do line up with an individual or do not line up with an individual. So whether or not this is hearsay or not, it doesn't really matter. But we're going to get all upset about this and derail this panel. Thank you, G.E. Swag, you fucking moron.
Me, bro, evidence. So I think what G Swag is saying is,
Are you calling the father of
I'm
the
not calling. Don't fucking do that to me. Do not fucking put words into my
that
mouth.
guy, not you,
Okay?
the guy in the corner.
I'm not calling anybody. Listen, all right. Now I'm reasonable until I'm dealing with fucking unreasonable people. Okay, let's stay reasonable. I'm sick and tired of people maligning and saying that I'm saying things that I'm not fucking saying. Okay, I'm sick.
And I'm sorry. That was intentional on G.E. Swag's part. He got Generally Specific wrapped up where people are talking over each other. The one thing that Generally Specific said he doesn't want to do, we do not want to be the People's Podcast. Hey, we've said that on my channel. We do not want to be the People's Podcast. And now you've got Generally Specific wrapped up so that he's taking charge and talking over everyone else while people are still trying to talk. And Sean Porter's just trying to respond to Joe Smith, who's constantly interrupting. Now you're getting Generally Specific wound up. That was your intention, G.E. Swag.
Saying exactly what the fuck I'm saying. I'm very articulate. I don't fucking need help explaining what the fuck I'm saying. For the record, and that's mostly to the idiots in the fucking chat. Okay?
Generally Specific, I'm going to suggest you ignore the chat while these guys are going at it because they're just going to make the situation worse.
My statement, shit, I fucking, dude, I don't even know what the fuck I was saying. I'm so irritated.
And that's exactly what G.E. Swag wanted. Congratulations, G.E. Swag, you fucktard.
Right now. I'm really trying to be fucking reasonable. So hearsay, okay? This is trust me, bro, evidence. I'm not saying that the person is a liar. I'm saying that if I'm supposed to believe what you're saying based on you getting it from my sister's dog walker's cousin's nephew's niece told me
Her dad.
and, right, I get it.
You think
But
her dad's lying?
I'm the principal fucking source of 90% of the fucking lies that are coming my way, and nobody fucking believes a fucking word coming out of my mouth. That's tough fucking titty, said the kitty when the milk went fucking dry.
Yeah, a lot of people have challenged GS on a lot of things. I'm sorry, GS, I'm going to disagree with you. You're not consistently very articulate. In fact, that's what's gotten a lot of people going, including myself. But I'm losing track of my point here. Now GS is wound up. And when you're wound up, Finkel, Muxter, GS, Jeff, once you're wound up, the articulation and the logic starts to get lost. It happens to all of us.
Right? Tough shit. That's fucking life. I'm not casting aspersions on this man at all. I'm just saying this man over here is saying, where's your fucking evidence? Your evidence is, trust me, bro, this guy over here told me this thing. And listen, I'm not saying you don't have a reason to not believe him. I'm not saying you have a reason to believe him. I'm saying that's not evidence that you go on the court of public opinion and just try to destroy somebody like this.
Yeah, I'm going to say the court of public opinion does not matter when you haven't accused Rabbit or anybody else of using the credit card. All you're saying is the credit card is being used. Possibilities. Rabbit's using it. A house guest is using it. Someone who maybe Piqua. I'm not accusing Piqua, but I'm saying this is one of the many possibilities. Piqua was recently, before the demise, kicked out of the house. And according to the stories, Andrea's been kind of homebound in the last several days before her life ended. I'm not accusing Piqua, but who's to say this credit card wasn't removed from the house when Piqua was taken out? How do we know Piqua's not using it? Okay, I'm not accusing Piqua of this, but Sean Porter is very clearly stating that he's not pointing fingers at anyone other than the credit card is being used. Was it a house guest before the demise? Was it a house guest after the demise? Was it Rabbit? Was it when Rabbit's cleaning up, he accidentally throws a credit card out and some garbage picker picked up the credit card? We don't know. Sean Porter is not accusing anyone. So whether or not Sean Porter has receipts that the credit card is being used or not does not matter, because he's not swaying the court of public opinion towards Piqua, towards Rabbit, towards house guests, to thieves, to whoever. He's putting it out there that the credit card is being used, and at that point, the court of public opinion does not matter, because he's not attaching a name to who's doing the activity. It's an activity. It's snowing somewhere in the world. I'm not blaming anybody for that. Leave it up to you to speculate. That's how Sean Porter opened with this. I leave it up to you to speculate. Joe Smith speculated. Joe Smith kept the argument talking over each other. The one thing that drives General Specific totally fucking bonkers, like Muxter, like Finkel, like so many others. How many people have left the People's Podcast because of shit like this? It drives you fucking crazy, man. That's why some panels, Hill Power Studios, don't have just random anybody up. They have Scuttle, they have Jeff, and they have G2, and they occasionally have somebody else. But they don't get in these situations where people are talking over each other, because I assure you, it would drive them crazy too, as it did with Jeff when Johnny Specific and Jeff met on another person's panel. I can't remember who it was. It drives us all crazy. If you're trying to have a discussion, have a discussion. If you want to derail the discussion, GE Swag, do exactly what you did here. It works.
Like, let it be in the court system, right? So like I could see, like I don't know if you heard earlier, I basically said, what fucking stone wouldn't I uncover to try to get justice for my daughter? I'd go on every freaking platform that would have me. If I believed firmly that the police are not investigating this appropriately. That's not your fucking testimony anymore. You're telling me the police are investigating it appropriately. Yep. So stop fucking interfering.
How am I interfering?
And stop making fucking threats to this guy.
Exactly.
That's my point. If I just played the video, bro. You basically made, okay. So in my opinion, okay, and this isn't fucking communist China, so I get to have that. In my opinion, when I just reviewed your what you said. It sounded like you were making threats.
I forgot about that. Okay, yeah. I may be confusing Sean Porter being shared by GS rather than Sean Porter coming up. I'm not going to go back because I've already spent too much time on this. You guys can do it. You can either watch GS's full video or you can watch what he was sharing. At one point, Sean Porter mentioned that a private investigator is going down to North Carolina from, I don't know where he's from, and basically insinuated that Rabbit's going to have to answer some questions. Rabbit is in the First Amendment audit community, and the last thing a First Amendment auditor will do is answer questions to a police officer. Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment. I don't answer questions without a lawyer. I don't have to help you in your investigation. If that's true for a police officer, I don't think a private investor coming to ask you questions is really going to change anything. A private investigator will have less authority than a police officer when it comes to asking questions. He does, and he does have Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights. He does have Miranda rights. So I'm not really sure how that's a threat, although maybe Sean Porter meant it in a threatening way. Hey, the private investigator is coming to get you. Well, really, the private investigator is really powerless to do anything but report what his findings in the investigation is. And if Rabbit doesn't answer questions, it's about as useless as a cop violating Miranda rights. Let's continue.
Well, let's clear that up.
Okay. Sure.
Ask me what I'm threatening.
Why did you say there's going to be a guy that's going to come and have a
Yeah,
conversation?
there is. Nick. The private investigator is coming to have a little chat with Billy on the 9th.
That's a threat.
No, that's the facts. That's what's happening.
That's not a threat. A private investigator is going to come ask questions. That's not a threat. It's a warning, and according to Sean, it's a fact. A man's going to come ask questions. What is threatening about answering questions? Hey, Finkel, did you do XYZ? I don't answer questions. Hey, Finkel, did you do ABC? My lawyer's not present. I don't have to answer questions. You see what I'm saying? How's that threatening? That's not threatening.
Happening. He is coming
Prove it.
with Billy on the 9th.
Prove
Period. He's coming to get their assets back, and he's coming to make sure Billy leaves out of that property on the 9th.
So that.
Wait a minute. A private investigator is going to force someone out of the property? Okay. The panel is derailed. All right. Now, a private investigator cannot remove somebody from a property if he's assigned as a property manager. Maybe he has a possibility, but there are laws around evictions, and they vary from state to state. Let's continue.
That's a fucking threat.
A promise, not
That's
a threat. It's happening.
That's a threat. You're
No,
making a
it's
threat.
promise. It's happening.
You're putting this man
It's happening.
in. Okay, I don't give a shit if it's happening or not.
It is.
All right, what I'm saying to you, Sean, is if I heard you saying that to me, that there was a man likely armed getting ready to come to my fucking domicile.
Wait a minute. Did he say likely armed? If he said likely armed, I missed that point. But again, whether he's armed or not, he can't just use that weapon to make someone answer questions. He's a private investigator. At least that's the title we're being given. Not a security guard, not law enforcement, a private investigator. If that's what he is, all he can do is snoop around and ask questions. And by the way, if he snoops around, he has to obey the same laws that a cop does.
And now
No, it's
you've
not him.
clarified.
He doesn't own it. He's supposed to be out of there.
I'm not a lawyer, but possession is 9/10 of the law, is it not?
It's
okay. Quote, he's supposed to be out of there. That is an opinion thing because we don't know. Okay, we're told that the property is owned by the trust, not the estate, not the marital asset, the trust. As such, okay, the trust owner, which apparently is Andrea's dad, can say, you can't live here anymore. There's a problem with that. He's established to be living there legally with his wife. And that doesn't change until you say you have to leave now. And Rabbit says, no, I don't. And then the owner says, all right, we have to go to court. Court to evict someone takes more than a visit on the 9th. Has this been brought to the court yet? So far, we haven't heard any. So my question is, okay, if he's deploying on the 9th to meet Rabbit and make these demands, click, the clock starts ticking. When does it go to court? Once it goes to court, it can take 30 to 60 days, 6 months. It varies from state to state, and we'll look that up here in a bit.
He's actually a squatter at best.
And squatters have more rights than landowners lately.
Unfortunately.
So I don't
in North
agree with it.
Carolina, according to Tim Matthews' attorney,
all right, I don't want to get in the
the
weeds.
attorney notified. The attorney
Don't
notified him.
get back to what you're talking about, Jed.
Yeah. So when you're
private
telling me
investigator-
when you're telling me in 7
Shut up,
days
Sean.
there's going to be a guy
Yep.
probably with some
Yep.
sort of a badge and a gun.
All right. And that's how it's done. When you're on a panel of more than 2 people, that's how you derail a panel. But yeah, we don't know what's going on there. So how long does a legal eviction process take in Spruce Pine, North Carolina? I don't know because it varies from state to state, jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Okay. It is typical legal eviction timeline in North Carolina. Notice to vacate. For non-payment, this isn't a rent situation, but non-payment, you have 10 days. 10 days to pay or quit. Notice must be given. Other lease may also have a 10-day. This isn't a lease situation now. Filing the complaint summary ejectment. Okay. Keep in mind that 10 days is from the court order. It's not from the private investigator says get out. It's not from when Andrea's father says you have to get out now. The guy has an established residence there. Call it squatter, call it widower, call it whatever you will. His residence is established there before he was told to get out. Once he's told to get out, the 10-day cure or quit notice takes effect after the court agrees with you. The summons must be served typically within 5 business days. So the way I'm reading this is if on the 9th, the representative of the trust, the private investigator says, get out, he has to take it to court, and the court could take within 5 business days. And after that, a court hearing will be 7 to 14 days after filing. Let me see. Court hearing judgment. And maybe I'm reading this wrong. Well, I got a headache just from listening to all that again. Even then, okay, 7 to 14 days after filing, the tenant appears and contests, and hearing proceeds. If not, the court may issue a judgment. The court could order a judgment in 7 to 14 days, but from that point, he has 10 days to follow the court order to get out. The 10 days also gives him a chance to appeal. And you lawyers out there, put comments below because I'm not reading the chat. Writ of possession and sheriff's execution. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, I'm reading up here. The sheriff normally comes out. The sheriff normally carries out an eviction within 5 business days of what? Of the court order or of the failure to get out 10 days after? I'm not real clear on that. The tenant typically has 5 to 7 days after eviction. That's the court order. To retrieve personal property. Although he has to get out, he can still come back for 5 to 7 days to get personal property. Estimated total timeline. An uncontested and properly served approximately 3 to 4 weeks from first notice. And what is the notice? An email, a private investigating saying, get the fuck out. Okay, it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks. If he contests, it could take 6 to 10 weeks. In rare cases, 90 days. Okay. For particularly, let me see, uncontested. For particularly complex scenarios, some sources estimate a maximum timeline of around, it's cut off here. I did this last night. I don't know. Wow. Okay, summary. Notice to vacate, 10 days. Filing to court hearings, 7 to 14 days. The judgment and the appeal window, another 10 days. Writ issuance to eviction, that's where the sheriff comes out and says, get out, 5 days. And after he's told to get out, he has 5 to 7 days to retrieve his stuff. Total of 3 to 4 weeks, possibly 6 to 10 weeks, up to 100 days. I don't think a private investigator showing up on the 9th means that by the end of business on the 9th, Rabbit has to be out there. Can he leave willingly? Sure. Sure he can. Let us remove that. There were some other questions. I mean, I was very glad to see Sean take a step back from the astrology stuff and the spirit world shit and the conspiracy worlds about Something happened in Colorado about the same time, and there was something somewhere else too. I can't remember. But he still had some issues. Okay, some people are perceiving it as the private investigator coming on the 9th as a threat. I don't think it's like a threat to human life. It's a threat that proceedings are going to start. So unless Rabbit wants to, I don't think he's going to be out on the 9th. But there was also some stuff that I thought about. According to Sean Porter, I lost my train of thought now. So even just listening to those panels go awry, you lose your train of thought. There were some other things that didn't make sense about what Sean Porter. He made more sense, but there's still some issues that I wasn't really clear on. And the truth is, it doesn't matter if I'm clear on it or not. I'm not in the jury pool of North Carolina. I do not know Rabbit. I did not know Lion. I've never met Sean Porter or GE Swag or Generally Specific. I've only met two people between YouTube and the real world, Muckster and I can't remember her name. the lady who hit me with the snowball. Oh, what was her name? Mama Bear? Big Mama? Big Bear? I can't remember her name, but it was just that brief snowball exchange. But the only person I've actually spent time with is just Muckster. So how important is it to me if whoever wins this court of public opinion? I guess it's silly for me to keep breaking my resolution to stop thinking about this, stop talking about it, stop covering it. But we're humans and we get caught up in it. And I'm still on Team C, the fence line, because I'm in no position to force Rabbit out, to judge Rabbit and send him to jail. Oh, that's right. That was it. That was the other thing. Porter and Porter's camp is opining that that Andrea's extended family, father, kids, I'm not sure who all, they seem to be bartering with Rabbit. If I firmly, positively, beyond a shadow of a doubt, believed that a family member was unalived by a specific person, I don't think I would barter with them at this stage. I would push for the legal, the criminal law thing as much as possible. And if that failed and it went to civil courts after the fact, then maybe I would try to barter. One of the custody cases, we were forced into compromise because no possible situation would be a win for everyone. The kids, the specific kid who wanted me to live with me at the time, the mom, the dad, everyone involved. There was no way that a single court ruling would benefit everyone. So the judge forced the lawyers and us to compromise. What's best for the child who wants? What's best for the other children? What's best for the mom? And we had to go to the negotiating table. And that's what it sounds like they're at now, before alleged criminal investigation is over, before the civil court has even started. They're willing to barter with Rabbit about, if you want this, you got to do this. If you want that, you got to get out. They're bartering over ashes, and they're bartering over property, and this doesn't make sense. That should come after the criminal court fails to give the family what they want, and we're now in the proceedings of the civil court. To the best of my knowledge, there's no civil court, so there's no reason to barter at this point. And as morbid as this discussion is, whatever happens or happened to the ashes after cremation, when at the time of the cremation, It solely belongs to the next of kin, which in a marital situation is the spouse. What happens between that time and any court order that may or may not happen in the future, it may already be done. We've dispersed ashes at Chinkatink. We've dispersed ashes in the mountains. We've earned ashes and put them co-located with a grave of someone who wasn't cremated. That one can be undone. If the ashes are already dispersed in the mountains or at a favorite seaside place, it may be too late. So why would you use the ashes as a borrowing point if the ashes are still available? I don't know. Probably 8 hours of preparing this and 2 hours and 10 minutes of constant time. There's a lot of things I'm on the fence about. And I'm sorry. Just because I don't fully take side A or side B on this or any issue. I hate Trump. I don't want to see someone wearing a MAGA hat ejected from a soccer game without at least being given the chance to take the hat off. Hell, I wouldn't even make him get out. I wouldn't even make him take the hat off. I would love to wear my fuck Trump hat wherever I want to. I'm curious if my church would allow me to wear fuck Trump. I don't know. My church is not very friendly towards Trump. I wonder if they would allow fuck Trump. And I don't know. So I'm on the fence about the first story I covered. I'm on the fence about the second story. Guy betrays America and takes his entire family to Russia and volunteers to join the army, thinking he's going to get a nice, peaceful desk job, and he gets shipped off to the front lines. And now reports are conflicting whether or not he's dead. I don't give a fuck about the individual. I'm on the fence about the family as a whole. The kids deserve a good life. They don't deserve what their mother and father put them up against. So I'm on the fence on that issue. In fact, I'm on the fence on whether or not he's alive or dead. I don't know if he's alive or dead. Propaganda going both ways. And on the rabbit, lion, porter, dirty mop, what's his name, people, I'm on the fence. Not that I'm not willing to take a side, but because I don't have the evidence required to say matter-of-factly that Huffman is dead in Ukraine, or matter-of-factly that private businesses can't have dress codes, or matter-of-factly that Rabbit did or did not do the things he's being accused of. There are many possibilities in all of those situations. It doesn't mean I'm undecided, I'm playing both sides of the field. It means I don't have the facts. I do have the emotional responses, just like everybody who's opined on it in chat, on panel, wherever, at the water cooler at work. Everybody who's opined on it does have an emotional response, a natural human response. And we have this tool called YouTube. Some of you have Facebook and TikTok and whatever. It's natural to opine on it, but I'm opining on, hey, let's not play the middle of the road in case it leans this way. I can join the winning side. It's not like that. Well, that's what it makes it. People who oppose Team C seem to think, because you're not taking A or B side, you're staying in the middle of the road so that when A or B wins, you can join the winning side. That's not the fucking way it is. The way fucking it is yes, this is an emotional. It grabs you by the heartstrings, but we don't fucking know. We don't fucking know. Whether we've gotten along for the better part of the year and a half, like me and Muxer, or you've hated each other for the better part of a year and a half, like me and GS. The truth is, none of us know where's Mr. Huffman. None of us know what happened to Andrea. None of us know. Okay, we do have no. Okay, the first story, maybe that's not. I'm on the fence on that one because I can see it. That one I can see both ways. The first story. But this next two stories, we don't know. If it turns out that Huffman died 10 days ago, one team you could say, nanny boo boo, we were right and you weren't. And I'm not holding back on that because I'm waiting to see which winning team to join. And I'm not holding back on the rabbit lion thing because I'm waiting to see which. I'm holding back on it because I don't have the facts. And that I have in common with GS at this time. He doesn't have the facts. He, like the rest of us, are either intrigued, Jeff and Hill Pirate Studios, or our heartstrings are pulled, GS, Muxter, me, all the chatters that I can't read right now because I'm pre-recording this. It grabs people for intrigue, for entertainment, or for we have an emotional response to it. Which emotional response are you going to have? One that says matter-of-factly this happened, or matter-of-factly that happened, or wow, this is a tragic situation and I'm very curious. That's me, very curious. I'm trying to ignore it. It would be very easy just not to turn on the computer, the phone, the TV, and watch it. They're talking about that again, turn away. But it's just human nature. We're curious for whatever reason. Some of us for the intrigue, some of us for the heartstrings, some of us because, hey, a human being, Huffman or Andrea, may or may not be with us anymore. That's some serious shit. Now, why? Why aren't they with us? Anyway, 2 hours and 60 minutes of playtime, probably 8.5 hours of preparing time. Of course, I'm mixing it with work. No. It didn't take me 8.5 hours to edit this. It's a multitasking thing. I do a little work. I go to the bathroom. I push play and record. And okay, that's the 8.5 hours. It's not editing. I don't edit very well. You all know that. And you all know. Okay, yeah, all right. Something was said about me publicly by someone that's on Team D. You have A, this absolute. You have B, that absolute. You have C, we don't know the facts to have an absolute. And we have Team D. Team D is Finkel, Ariel, Muxter, Killing Time, Nikki. I haven't seen Nikki in a while. And Team D, okay. One of us not outed. One of us complained about the other publicly, and I, in response, followed suit. The truth is, our team philosophy on that is we don't do that, and we both did it. I don't know how Muxter feels because we haven't talked about it. I'm still processing it. As far as I'm concerned, Muxter and I are still friends. Muxter's pissed off at me for going along with General Specific on some things. I'm pissed off at Muxter for saying shit about it in public. And now he's probably pissed off at me for continuing to say shit about it in public. Okay, it's out there. So if those of you who are wondering, taking bets, how long till the breakup, how long till Thanksgiving 2.0, unless Muxter chooses, forget about it. We're still friends. We're still channel co-owners. And we still have very strong opinions. And we still share in common that interrupting panels where people talk over each other are just, they're entertaining for about 30 seconds, and then they're fucking annoying. And that's all I got to say about all that. I'm going to click end recording now, and I don't have an outro.